Hello everybody, my name is Beck. Welcome to my channel. Welcome back to my channel. So today I'll be going through my October potentials, October TBR. I'm lying to myself, but let's give it a whirl. So surprisingly enough, we don't really celebrate Halloween in Australia. Some people do, most people don't. I didn't grow up with it, so I don't have the festive vibes, and I don't particularly care for I do love horror, but I'm not going to read anything to do with suspense, horror, and all of that. But usually I try to fit in with the theme. It's going to be contemporary romance because I do have a couple of library loans that I borrowed. They all happen to be contemporary romance, and they're just a lot easier to access. So let's go through all my library loans. They're very blue this month, as you can tell from the dress and the nails. Everything's just blue. I am not wearing makeup today because I just don't feel like it. It's so freaking hot and I'm just feeling it. I don't usually film without makeup, so this is a very brave thing for me to do. Even though it really shouldn't be. I don't think most people would care, but just putting it out there, this is a very first time in the 5 years I've been doing YouTube on both channels that I filmed without makeup on. I always have at least something on my face, but today it is all natural. So here we go. The very first book that I really want to read is Maggie Moves On by Lucy Score. I wanted to read this book for a very long time. Lucy Score is very hit and miss for me. Some of the books, some of the male protagonists really irks me, but for the most part I do have a fun time reading it. This is a library loan. When I saw it at my local library, I immediately picked it up, and I'm so glad because this one is, I think, indie published, so it was a little bit more expensive, so I'm glad my library has it. It's about house flipping, rom-com, rivals to lovers or something like that along those way. I think it's a one-way romance where the guy falls first and she's not having it. Our main female protagonist, so has a dog there. Very blue. House flipping. Sounds amazing. Wanted to read it for a while. I'm definitely gonna finish this book. I already started it, which is rare. I'm in my contemporary romance phase again. Let's go. And then I have The Prenup by Lauren Lane. I have read several of her other books before. They're all based in New York, so rom-com-y and very businesswoman savvy, workforce or workplace romance. But this one is about the prenup, so I'm very intrigued about it. This is an older book if I'm not mistaken, but I started reading it on the train, and there's something about this title that attracts people to look over my shoulders, so I had to start reading it in the afternoon when the train is packed, so I read this in the morning. So I already started it and I'm up to chapter 2, but this will be a really quick read. The only reason why I'm struggling is because when I'm commuting I tend to fall asleep as well, so there's that. As the title suggests, the prenup. I think it's a brother's best friend kind of situation with a prenup where she's trying to save her business, something along those lines. But I always like a smart and savvy CEO woman who wants to take charge of her situation. Once again, Lauren Lane's hit and miss for me. I've read several of her books. One of her series is available on Audible and I've devoured it. And finally I have Sign for Home, a novel by Blair Bell. It feels like it will be a very emotional kind of book, and I was looking at the Goodreads review and it looked amazing, and I just realized the blur is inside the book. I could have just read it there. Anyway, I don't know too much about it, so the book looked amazing, and that's all I got from the library. I tend not to borrow too many books from the local library because I just know for a fact that I have so many books I don't need to borrow anymore. At most I will borrow 3. That's my personal limit. I think you can borrow up to 10 books from my local library and you have a total of 20 days. The only books that I feel okay about borrowing is audiobooks and ebooks because I tend to read a lot faster. I'm not holding up the queue, and it is school holidays here in Australia, at least from my state, and I'm not trying to take someone's spot. I just feel horrible because I take my sweet ass time reading through physical books, but when it comes to audiobooks and ebooks I can breeze through them and I really don't need to buy or borrow anymore. Nevertheless, I love going to the library. Another 2 physical books that I own that I would like to read for this month is The Do Over by Lynn Painter. Reason why is because the audiobook is due tomorrow and it will be officially the 1st of October, so this is counting towards my October TBR. Most likely I'm going to finish it tonight. I'm definitely going to finish the audiobook tonight, but I have the physical book, and I also have borrowed This Time It's Real by Anne Leanne, and this one's due in a week's time, but I will also be reading it in the month of October. So 2 contemporary romances. This is YA romance. I've heard amazing things about it. It'll be officially my first Lynn Painter book that I finished, because I tried to read the one with the yellow cover with the movie figures. I think I did read 90% of it, and for some reason I just stopped. I do that sometimes. And this one I've had for like, I have all of Anne Leanne's books, but I haven't started on any of them. So I'm glad I can finally have an excuse to like start reading it. Last but not least, I know I featured these books like before, but I have Things We Hide from the Light and Things We Left Behind by Lucy Score. I will read it this month. I will read it. I know they're chunky books and I'm saying a lot of words and I'm not meaning half of it, but listen, I'm in my contemporary romance phase again. So if I don't read it when I'm still in the phase, I'm never gonna read it, and there is hope for me. Like, I also started reading some dark romance, which I'm kind of wondering why I did that, but I managed to read a mafia romance just last night and I finished it. Did I even like the book that much? Not really, but did I finish it? Yes, I did. If I'm on that kick, I can do it. Like, I need some fluff to balance it, so I'm okay with contemporary romance again for some reason. Last but not least, I do have this on Kindle Limited, but I have the physical book to prove it. I have Pucking Around by Emily Raff. My Kindle Limited subscription is once again ending this month, so before they take it out of my Kindle Limited, I'm gonna read it off my Kindle, because listen, this is a very chunky book. I'm gonna read it off the Kindle if I can. I actually prefer reading it off my Paperwhite. I bring this Kindle out to work specifically, so I'll bring a physical book and a Kindle sometimes. For some reason, this one, maybe because I constantly am downloading like new books onto this one, it goes through the battery real quick, but my Paperwhite can last forever. In terms of my Kindle Limited, here is the brief overview of what I want to read. We're lying to ourselves once again. So the books that I really want to read off my Kindle Limited, everyone has potentials, but the most potential is Out on a Limb by Hannah Bowen Young, Anastasia by Sophie La, Gothicana, which is fitting the October theme by Runix. I'm probably gonna buy the audiobook. Done and Dusted by Lila Sage. I think it's already taken out of Kindle Limited, so I need to read it before my Kindle Limited subscription expires, and then I won't have access to the book unless I buy it, so I'm gonna do that before that happens. And everything else, I think it's gonna stay on Kindle Limited. Like, when I resubscribe, it'll still be there, it'll be fine. But I heard amazing things about it. I love me some cowboy contemporary romance, and I think the other one is based in Halloween when the situation happens. I think Out on a Limb talks about a surprise pregnancy. I don't know if that's a spoiler, but apparently that's one of the tropes. In terms of my arcs, I do have like 3 more new arcs. I have Every Which Way, the audiobook. Do I have the ebook as well? Yes, but the publishers were kind enough to also like loan me the audiobook version so I can actually finally finish it. I also have Mr. Right Next Door by Rachel Dove, Lonely for You by Monica Murphy, which I'm really excited for, but I have yet to read the previous books in the series that's linked to this book, so can't really start it if I haven't started the first book. I can actually read it as a standalone, but I would rather have a background understanding with the other books because they're interchangeable, kind of. I think that is part of the series. I also have How to Fake Date a Vampire. It's already out, but I was given the arc for the very first book and I really enjoyed it, and this is like a second book of the series, so I'm looking forward to reading it eventually. Most likely when it comes out in audiobook, I will also buy it again, but I got the arc for it. I still have The Night of the Witch by Sarah Rash and Beth Revis, Accidental Attachment by Max Monroe, the ebook and the audiobook version. I have Problems, The Right Wrong Match by Sarah Jane Woodley, Not Your Ex's Hexes. Once again, I think I might actually read it this month because I have read the first book. I've actually managed to read the first book of all the series that I've requested, so what is my excuse not to read the second book that I was given an e-audio arc ages ago? Like, I hate myself sometimes. And I have Every Which Way, the physical, like I said, and then Of Love and Forge by Carly Spade. So these are all the potential arcs that I finally write a review. I actually have a blog dedicated to writing about it, and I'm gonna film myself this long weekend actually reading some of these books I mentioned. I'm not gonna say all of these books because that's insane, and I was gonna say I'm not a liar, but I kind of am, because I don't think I actually follow through my TBR list. Like, these are all hopefuls and potentials that every single month I said I'm gonna read, but I don't end up reading. Like, are you guys like me? you just like go on a whim and do whatever you want. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please give me a thumbs up, leave a comment down below. If you have anything you'd like to say to me, hit like button, subscribe button to see more content from me, hit the bell for notifications, and I'll see you guys in my next video. I'm about to lose my voice and I'm going to eat some KFC. This is so in your face. I'm so sorry. I'm going to clean my room now before I do anything else. Stay tuned. See you guys next time. Bye.